Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to unpack a really brilliant classic fable called The Stonecutter's Dream. Because, let's be real, we've all been there, right? You're scrolling through social media, you're looking at someone else's seemingly perfect life, and you catch yourself thinking, man, if only I had that. Well, today's story completely exposes the dangerous illusion of chasing someone else's power and status. It's this profound look at human nature, and we're going to break it down step by step, using the lessons pulled right from the source text.
And it all kicks off with one simple yet absolutely devastating truth. Comparison steals joy. I really want you to let that sink in as we go through this explainer. Plunging straight into the core premise of our story, the text points out that so many people spend their entire lives wishing they were someone else. Constantly obsessing over other people's lives doesn't elevate us at all. It literally robs us of our own happiness, and it completely blinds us to our own strengths. Keep that in the back of your mind as we meet our main character.
Section 1. The Dissatisfied Stonecutter. Imagine a guy whose entire existence basically revolves around cutting stones under a brutal, blazing hot sun. The source text describes him so vividly. His hands are super rough from the labor, his clothes are old and worn out, and every single day he's just complaining about his lot in life, feeling totally trapped in this endless cycle of hard labor and deep dissatisfaction.
But then, his routine suddenly changes. He delivers some stones to a wealthy merchant's mansion, and instantly, just being in that environment triggers his deepest insecurities. He's looking at the luxurious furniture, the countless servants, the expensive decorations. It's a completely different universe from his hot, dusty rock quarry, and right away he just sighs and says, if only I were as rich as that merchant, then I would truly be happy. He genuinely buys into the idea that external wealth is this magical key to internal joy.
But here's where the story takes a crazy, magical turn. Out of absolutely nowhere, to his complete astonishment, this mysterious voice echoes out and simply says, "Your wish is granted," and boom. Just like that, our humble, rough-handed stonecutter is instantly transformed into a wealthy merchant. Suddenly, he has exactly what he thought he wanted. At first, the thrill is totally intoxicating. He's wearing fine clothes, living in absolute comfort, and people are actually treating him with respect. He thinks he's finally made it. Which brings us to Section 2, Chasing Ultimate Power. Because, as we know, human desire is rarely satisfied for long, right? Our new merchant's thrill evaporates the exact second a king passes through town. Everyone around him starts bowing down to this passing monarch. And in an instant, the merchant thinks, wait a minute, the king is way more powerful than I am. If only I were a king. And just like that, the cycle of comparison starts all over again.
So, he wishes to be the king, and yep, the mysterious voice grants it. Now he's got the soldiers, the cheering crowds, the ultimate human authority. But this naturally begs the question, what is stronger than a king? Well, he finds out the hard way on a blazing summer day. The sun is just beating down fiercely from overhead, and despite his massive armies and all his royal decrees, the king feels entirely exhausted and completely defeated by the heat. He realizes that even he, supposedly the most powerful man on earth, literally cannot stop the sun. The sun, he concludes, is far more powerful. So, you guessed it, he makes another wish. I wish I were the sun. And once again, the voice answers, your wish is granted. Now he's no longer just a man. He is literally a celestial body shining brightly across the entire world. He feels completely unstoppable. He's warming vast oceans, drying up rivers, and illuminating giant mountains. He has officially ascended beyond human limitations. Surely this has to be the ultimate power, right?
Well, not quite. When we look at nature's hierarchy, we see how his insatiable hunger really plays out. Step 1, he's the sun. But pretty soon, a thick cloud rolls in and completely blocks his rays. Frustrated, he realizes the cloud is actually stronger. So he wishes to be the cloud. Step 2, he becomes the cloud, pouring down rain and drifting powerfully across the sky. But then he feels something pushing him against his will, the wind. He realizes the wind can move the cloud wherever it wants to go. So, true to form, he immediately wishes to become the wind. This incredible rapid escalation shows just how endless and totally exhausting the comparison trap really is.
So he becomes the wind, bringing us to step 3. He's sweeping across valleys and forests, literally uprooting massive trees and pushing entire weather systems around. He is this terrifying force of pure destruction and momentum. But eventually, we gotta ask, what can actually stop the wind? He finds the answer when he crashes headfirst into a giant immovable object, a massive mountain. No matter how incredibly hard he blows, no matter how much force he gathers, the mountain simply stands firm. It doesn't even flinch.
Totally defeated by the mountain's resilience, he makes his next demand. The mountain is stronger than me. I wish I were a mountain. And for what feels like the very final time, the voice says, "Your wish is granted." He is instantly transformed into a mighty, towering mountain. He's massive, rooted deeply into the earth itself. For the very first time in this long, crazy journey of transformations, he finally feels truly invincible. Storms cannot move him. The absolute strongest winds cannot shake him. He is the ultimate power.
Section 3. The Mountain's Revelation. Years and years pass by. He stands firm and resolute. He has successfully outwished the merchant, the king, the sun, the cloud, and the wind. He is totally untouchable. He is sitting at the very top of the hierarchy. Until, tap, 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 we come to a screeching, completely silent halt. After years of feeling utterly invincible, the mountain suddenly feels this very strange rhythmic sensation right on its side. It's just a tiny vibration, but it's undeniable. Something is actually chipping away at his invincible armor. What in the world could possibly be doing this?
Well, the shocking truth reveals itself. The mountain looks down to see what's causing all this tapping. And what does he see? A tiny little figure is systematically cutting pieces right out of his side. It is a humble stonecutter. And right then, the mountain is struck with this absolutely profound realization. Wait, this stonecutter can change even a mountain. Therefore, the stonecutter is actually stronger than the mountain. The very thing he thought was completely invincible is being dismantled by the lowliest worker in the whole village.
And this brilliantly illustrates the complete absurdity of his entire journey. I mean, just think about this trajectory. He started out as a stonecutter wanting to be a merchant, then a king, then the sun, a cloud, the wind, and finally a mountain. He literally spent his whole life trapped in this relentless cycle, chasing the power of whoever or whatever was just one step above him. Only to arrive at the absolute end of the line, looking down and admiring the power of the exact same person he started as. He had incredible power all along. He just couldn't see it.
With this massive, shocking revelation, a sudden and really profound humility fills his heart. He doesn't ask to be a more powerful mountain. He doesn't even ask for better armor to stop the cutting. He simply speaks out to that mysterious voice one last time and utters, "I wish to be myself again." It is just this complete, total surrender to his own true identity. Section 4. The Secret to Contentment. The voice grants his final wish. Physically, he is exactly where he started, complete with the rough hands and the old clothes. But mentally, he is a completely transformed mindset. He finally discovered the ultimate reward, contentment. That is, finding joy and appreciating what you already have, rather than relentlessly seeking wealth, power, or status. The source text notes that he now approaches his work with immense gratitude. He's no longer comparing himself to the passing merchants or kings. He finally understands a core truth of life. Every single person, including himself, has unique strengths, weaknesses, and a specific, incredibly valuable purpose.
I want you to really think about this mindset shift. He goes from constantly wishing to be someone else, which is just a never-ending exhausting trap, to actually developing his own unique strengths. Because the greatest power in life isn't transforming into someone else, whether that's a wealthy merchant or the unstoppable sun, it's actually doing the hard work to become the absolute best version of yourself. It's about appreciating your own unique capacity to shape the world, just like the stonecutter shapes the mountain.
And that brings us to our final, powerful thought for this explainer. Before you wish for someone else's life, remember, they may be looking at yours and wishing for the same thing. We spend so much of our energy constantly looking up the ladder, we completely forget the incredible power we already possess, standing exactly where we are. So the next time you catch yourself envying someone else's highlight reel, just ask yourself, what mountain am I uniquely equipped to shape today? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.